Hey mama, and welcome back to For Moms, a Safe Space. I'm your host Simone, and I'm so glad you're here. Now, I already know if you're tuning in today, you're doing the absolute best you can. You're showing up, you're loving hard, you're carrying so much, even when it feels like no one sees the weight. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to take a moment to reflect on last week's conversation. We talked about motherhood and friendship and how becoming a mom can shift the way we connect with others. We explored the loneliness that can creep in, the guilt of outgrowing certain friendships, and the power of finding community, even if that community looks different now. If you missed it, definitely go back and give it a listen. That one was for every mom who's ever felt alone, even in a room full of people. But today, I want to remind you of something simple and powerful. It's not all bad. Even when motherhood feels overwhelming, even in the messy middle of sleep deprivation, tantrums, teen moods, or co-parenting drama, there's still beauty here. There's still joy. There are still moments worth holding on to. And that's what this episode is about. Seeing the light through the fog. Reminding ourselves that even though the hard stuff is real, the good stuff deserves to be honored too. So let's talk about it. Motherhood can be deeply anxiety-inducing. The what ifs creep in constantly. What if I mess this up? What if I don't make the right decision? What if they need something I can't give them? And it's not just the big things. It's the daily invisible decisions. What to feed them, how much screen time is too much, how to handle that tantrum, whether you were too hard or not hard enough. There's this relentless pressure to get it all right, even when the goalpost keeps moving. And if you're mothering without much support or doing most of the heavy lifting emotionally, mentally, and physically, that pressure can feel like it's sitting directly on your chest. That's anxiety. That's the weight we carry. And it's real. And it deserves to be named out loud. But here's where it gets tricky. When anxiety becomes the loudest voice in the room, it can drown out everything else. And it makes the joyful moments feel distant or muted. It tells you you're behind, even when you've moved mountains today. It convinces you that you're failing, even when your child is thriving in your care. And sometimes we slip into survival mode without even realizing it. The days start to blur. You're checking boxes, feed them, bathe them, get through bedtime, but you're not in it. You're running on what's called autopilot, especially if you're parenting in isolation, whether it's due to distance, single parenting, a disconnected partner, or simply the lack of a reliable village. You start to feel like you're disappearing in the process. Now, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you paused to notice something good? And I don't mean something big or Instagram worthy. I mean the quiet, sacred moments that tend to slip by unnoticed. Maybe the sound of your child's laughter. You know, that belly deep giggle that reminds you why you keep going. Or maybe it's the way they reached for your hand when you were in a crowded place and they know that they're safe with you. Or that deep breath you exhaled after they fell asleep. And it's a quiet moment when your body finally softens. Or the way they look at you when they think you're not paying attention. Eyes full of trust and love. Those moments, they matter. Yes, You may say, oh, those are small moments, but they're not. They're very big moments, and they're sacred moments. And they can live alongside the chaos. So, yes, while anxiety is very much real, so is your strength. So is your tenderness. So is the good. We just have to make space to notice it. You don't have to deny the hard to honor the good. Both can live in you at the same time. You're allowed to carry the fear and still smile. You're allowed to cry in one moment and laugh the next. And that doesn't make you unstable. That just makes you human. That makes you a mom. Sometimes we just need someone to look us in the eye, past the laundry piles, the unread texts, the dishes in the sink, or the lingering guilt, and just say, you're doing better than you think. The other day, my man said to me, I appreciate you, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do around here. And for me, it made me feel good because he saw me in that moment. You know, I cooked dinner, I had went into office, and I had maybe 30 minutes to just sit and breathe. And then I said, okay, I got to give the little one a bath. And I give him a bath, I get him all cleaned up, I get him ready for bed, and then I come back to continue watching the show with my man. And that's what he said to me before I was able to sit down. And you don't know how much that can change your mood until you hear something like that. Because when you're deep in it, when you're tired to your bones and second guessing every decision, it is hard to see yourself clearly. You see the mess, the missteps, the moments you wish you'd handled differently. But you don't always see is the grace, the effort, the quiet acts of love that go unnoticed by the world, but mean everything to your child. Yeah, you might not always feel calm, but you're still steady. You might not feel confident, but you're still showing up every single day. You may feel like you're falling short, but your child sees the way that you love them. They feel it in your touch, your presence, your care. And that's not failure. That's love in motion. That's resilience. That's mothering. And no, it doesn't always feel good. Let's be honest. Sometimes it feels hollow, numb, disconnected. There are days where it's hard to even tap into joy because survival is taking up all the space. But I want to remind you of something. Healing isn't about being happy all the time. Let that sink in. Healing isn't about being happy all the time. It's about eliminating every moment of stress or becoming some Zen version of yourself who never snaps or feels overwhelmed. Healing is about learning to see the light even when the sky is cloudy. And I know a lot of us are still healing. We're still healing from our childhood. We're still healing from our teenage years, our young adult years. We're all still healing. And it is not an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to have a bad day, to have a terrible day where just everything happens to you, and to still see the light at the end of the tunnel and say, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes time. It takes time to learn how to see the light even when the sky is cloudy. It's about noticing the warmth in the little things. The smell of your child's hair after they take a bath, or the sound of them singing to themselves in another room, or the way their faces move as they're falling asleep. You know, their eyes may flutter, they may scrunch their nose up, they may pout their lips. These moments are still happening. Even when you're anxious, even when you're not on, even when you feel like you're just getting through the day. So today, let this episode be your reminder. You're allowed to feel joy again. You're allowed to smile without guilt. You're allowed to say, this is good, even when everything isn't perfect. Because it's not about perfection. It never was. It's about presence. It's about love. And both of those give you an abundance, even when you don't feel like it's enough. You're doing more than you know. And it's okay to rest in that truth for a minute. Let it settle into your bones. Let it soften the way you speak to yourself today. Sometimes I find myself staring at my oldest son. And generally, he doesn't notice me staring at him. Sometimes he does, but I stare at him in amazement because I can't believe that this is someone I gave birth to. I can't believe I managed to keep him alive for 12 years. I'm like, I kept him alive for 12 years. I'm doing something right. I must be doing something right if I've kept him alive this long, right? But I remember bringing him home and looking at him like, I'm supposed to keep you alive? I don't even know how to keep myself alive, right? And I was just staring at him when he was a baby, like 4 days old. And it was the strangest feeling to me because it's like I automatically knew what to do, even though I didn't know what to do. And moms, you understand what that means. You understand what it means to know what to do, even though you don't know what to do. And the joy I started to feel after I got over that initial shock of, okay, I have to keep this human being alive, is a joy like no other. It's a joy like no other. And you feel this sense like deep in your belly. And it's an indescribable feeling, but moms know what that feeling is. And you have this little person and everything about them puts you in awe. The smallest things, you're amazed. Like, wait a minute, you did that? Like when they first roll over, the excitement you feel. Like, what? Oh my God, they rolled over. Oh my God, this is crazy. Or when they sit up by themselves for the first time, or when they stand up by themselves, or they take their first steps. It is pure amazement. But it's also such a sense of joy and pride that you feel because you birthed this little person. And you're watching them grow. And every day, this little person is learning something new. Every day, they're finding something out about themselves. And it continues. And if you are so caught up in the chaos, you can miss those things. You can miss it. So it's important to take the time, take that deep breath, and just be present in the moment. Sometimes I just sit with my kids since it's summertime and my oldest is home, and we may just watch what my little one likes to watch, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Chuggington, Bluey. We may just sit and watch a couple episodes together or have, little talks here and there. But I think my amazement with my oldest son is I remember so much. And then I see my youngest son doing similar things, and it brings me right back to my oldest son being younger. And again, that amazement takes over for me because now I've given birth to 2 humans, and I'm trying to care for both of them and keep them both alive now. And again, I must be doing something right. I got 12 years under my belt. Just saying. And now with my little one, I got 2 years under my belt. So I must be doing this mom thing right. But I do take the time to just look at them. When my little one falls asleep, I like to go and stare at him because he is so adorable. His little lips pout out. And he is just the sweetest little person. I call him my Sour Patch Kid. Sour sweet. So that's what he is. He has his moments, and then he's sweet. Now, I did put out a poll asking people to share some joyful moments that help them to remember it's not all bad. And here's what some of you guys shared. My daughter whispered, "I love you, Mommy," in her sleep last night. And I just sat there crying because I needed that. When your kids tell you they love you, they mean it. They mean it. They're not just saying those words just because they think it's going to make you happy. No, they mean it. And if in that moment you were already having a rough day and you hear that, it will break you. It will make you cry because you'll just think, okay, maybe I am doing something right because this little person just said this to me. So yeah, it will make you cry. It will make you cry. Coming home to your kids and they run up to you like you're a celebrity. That's a moment. Especially if you had a bad day at work or your commute to get to them was rough, and then you get to them and they run up to you and they're so excited to see you. They're so happy to see you. It does change everything. It changes your whole mood. It makes you forget why you were upset because here you have this little person who loves you, they adore you, and they're so happy to see you after you've had a rough day. So it makes you feel better. A joyful moment that I had this week is my little one used the potty. And it made me so happy that I created a whole potty song and potty dance, and I had him excited. We're in the kitchen jumping up and down together, and I'm clapping and I'm like, "You pee pee in the potty, you pee pee in the potty." And he was so excited, and his little face, his little cheeks, his bright eyes just melt my heart. And my girlfriend said to me, "The way your babies love you no matter what, they always want to see you win. If nobody else is going to ride for you, your kids are. Your kids will hold you down until you give them a reason not to." Your kids will be there for you. And you see, those small moments, that's the gold. That's the stuff we sometimes overlook when we're drowning in the logistics of motherhood. But understand, those moments aren't small at all. They're everything. Those moments are everything. And when you really sit down and take the time to be present in those moments and just be there and just exist, you can feel that change happening in you. The chaos is always going to be there. But seeing your child learn something new, explore something, say something, especially if they're small, if they're toddlers or preschool age, where their minds are constantly going and they're constantly learning. When you miss those little moments because you were so focused on the chaos, you're going to reflect back when they're older and think like, oh, I wish I could see this again, or I wish I could relive this time again. Just being there, it brings you joy, brings you happiness. So I have some affirmations. And these affirmations, I would like for you to sit with them, write them down so you can go back to them and use them as often as you can. So the first one is, I don't have to be perfect to be a good mom. I don't have to be perfect to be a good mom. You do not. We all make mistakes. We are all human. And every day we are doing the best that we can. So let go of that perfectionism and just do the best that you can do every day and know that you are good enough because your kids see you. Your kids are thriving. They are well, they are happy, they are loved. The next affirmation. I see the beauty in the little things. I see the beauty in the little things. It doesn't have to be something grand that happens. It could be just your child may have watched something that made them giggle, but their giggle made you feel a way, made you feel happy. Take that in. It's not all bad. There is still light here. Use this affirmation on your bad days. When you just feel like everything is coming at you and you can't do anything right and you don't know what's happening. It's not all bad. There is still light here. It's easier said than done to see the light when you are in a bad space. But try your best. You're doing so much. You are so much. So I have a challenge this week for you guys. I want you to start a good things list. Not the big stuff, not stuff you find on Pinterest, just little glimmers, For example, your child's laugh. The way they say a word wrong and it makes you giggle. A moment of quiet while they nap. Or finishing your hot coffee. That is something I am only able to achieve when I go into office. At home, I can never finish my coffee hot. Never. I want you to write these good things down, and I want you to speak them out loud. Let them live somewhere other than in your overwhelmed mind. Because you deserve to see the good you're living, not just survive it. So, if this episode brought you a little peace today, I hope you carry that with you into the rest of your week. You deserve more than just survival mode. You deserve moments of ease, moments of joy, and you deserve to know it's not all bad. So until next time, be gentle with yourself.